That was James Clayton. We're joined now by Juan Guaidó's official representative to the UK, Dr. Vanessa Neumann. Welcome, Vanessa. This was meant to be the final push.
That's right.
What happened? He overplayed his hand.
What? Well, the night isn't over. The night is still young. I would watch to see what happens. There are various reports. First of all, let's be clear. Guaidó continues his march westward through Caracas, really unopposed. We have seen video of armored trucks running over protesters, which is what we saw in 2017. And we have also seen other videos of them backing away from crowds. So it's unclear. He still has military support, and we are going to see, it's basically a question of numbers.
But when you say he still has military support, this is the critical bit.
Right.
It's not the support he has got, it's the rest of it that hasn't yet come over to him. Why not?
So there are two things. First of all, the High Military Command, so several answers to your question. The High Military Command has been earning $8.8 billion a year in illicit trade. In drug trafficking, they are the #1 source of drugs entering the United Kingdom. They are the #1 drug cartel in the world, and also gold, coltan, and many other things.
So you're saying they're corrupt, essentially?
They're extremely corrupt.
So,
it is basically...
So they're never going to come over to him if they're actually being...
Well, they are a crime syndicate, basically. The Maduro regime is a crime syndicate. And that is exactly what has happened. So what we have is Guaidó is the legitimate constitutional president, and basically a crime syndicate will not let the constitutional leaders govern. They have taken over the government. They've taken over the levers of power.
But I'm just trying to work out the anatomy of what actually happened today, because the last thing we heard was Pompeo was suggesting that Maduro was ready to go, and all the dominoes were kind of being lined up. Something went wrong. So was it Russia?
The Russians.
Right.
The Russians went wrong. What happened is that the Russians have persuaded Maduro...
or militarily? What's the might behind Russia at this point?
Information operations, convincing that they think that they will back him. Our information is that the Russians will not actually go to bat, so he might be misinformed. He's definitely misinformed, Maduro, because there is no scenario where this can last. The lights will go out in Venezuela permanently within the next couple of weeks. It will be plunged into darkness.
But at the moment, it feels like a proxy war is taking on, because we saw how quickly out of the traps the US were when Juan Guaidó was on the stage, and now the force that Russia has coming in to support Maduro. So where are the key players actually working in this?
Well, that's exactly the issue. The issue is that it is the Venezuelan people who have been suffering. We have 18.7 million Venezuelans who have lost 25 pounds of weight in the last year. That's before the inflation rate hit.
So they haven't even got food.
We have a famine underway. We have the biggest humanitarian exodus since Syria, and it will shortly overtake Syria in terms of refugee crisis. And so this is a particularly Venezuelan horror show, and they need to leave. There is no scenario where this gets better with Maduro in power. So, you know, the Russians persuading him from getting on an airplane, and we have reports that there have been other opportunities to get him out. And there are countries that will get him out. He should take that opportunity.
This is devastating, though, for the people at the centre of it. Do you think they are still deciding the future of their country? And do you think that will happen tonight? Do you genuinely believe we'll see that?
I think we'll have a clearer panorama by the morning. So here are the reports we have so far. Basically, President Guaidó continues his march westward, and if the people, which is into the poorer sectors of Venezuela, where he is deeply loved, if they continue to come down, and they overpower the military ability to shoot them, then he is marching toward the presidential palace. If he gets in now, if the military shoots the civilians, then we have another problem. Then we have major bloodshed, and that's not going to bode well for the future of Maduro, because we have not just the US, we have 13 countries of the Lima Group, including UK Commonwealth countries like Canada, also backing our change.
Vanessa Neumann, we will carry on watching that very closely.